everything that you know, because you know a lot. You're articulate. We know that you've been applying yourself. We know that you've been giving this deliberate attention. So if we could convince you of this one thing, things would shift for you rapidly. And that is that when you hold a cork under the water, it's your deliberate attention to it that is preventing it from doing what it naturally would do if you weren't involved in it. And when you let go of it, it bobs back to the surface. And it's that one understanding that if we could just zap you with something right now, we would. Because if you accept that if you don't do that thing you do, right, that introduces resistance, resistance won't be there. And in the absence of resistance, you're up here in this vibration that then allows the universe to flow to you the things that you've been asking. If we could convince you that what you've been asking for is up there in that non-resistant vibration, and that if you weren't in a different vibration, you'd be receiving it, just like tuning your radio frequencies. Right. But you're right. Tuning your frequencies is the reason that the clogged pipe analogy is such a easy one to hear, because if you hadn't been doing that thing you've been doing, if you hadn't been fashioning beliefs that are opposite of the way the laws of the universe work, it would be easier for you to accept it. And so then a lot of people, their logic wants to say, well, if I was pure positive energy before I came into this body, then how did I get so far from being that pure positive energy? Why do I have to now work so hard to get back to it? Yeah. And we say it's because in not understanding the laws of the universe, but still participating and thinking, you've been generating thought patterns that law of attraction has been responding to. So you've been proving to yourself the very things that you believe. That's why people in religions are killing one another mightily always, because they're so sure they're right, because law of attraction keeps proving everyone right. Mm-hmm. Someone the other day said, I have a few teachers and I'm trying to meld together all of these teachers, and I have this one teacher who is helping me in many ways, but he does not believe in law of attraction. And we said the funny thing, not so funny, interesting thing, really interesting thing about that is that law of attraction is showing him that law of attraction isn't real.
Right.
Because he believes that law of attraction isn't real. And so he gathers around him all kinds of things that make him doubt that law of attraction is real. Let's start in another place. What is a belief? A belief is a thought that you keep thinking. A belief is a vibration that gains momentum. So the truth of it is, when you get momentum going on anything, you'll pick up enough forcefulness that results will happen. So there are all kinds of things that people believe that they keep proving to themselves. Right. Esther argued with us about that in the beginning. She said, Abraham, it's true. And we said, there are a lot of things that are true that you don't want to keep active momentum going within you. So pick from the truths those that you want to experience and make those what are most active in your vibration, and that will be what makes up the most of your experience. In the early days, we said, you get what you think about. So when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. So when you find yourself knowing what you don't want, just stop and say, well, I know what I don't want. What is it that I do want? That seems really, really simple. I know what I don't want. What is it that I do want? But humans have been practicing knowing what they don't want for so long that you're right. It's not simple as just saying, well,
it's simple,
I don't want that.
Easy.
Well, because you can't shift your vibration that easily. You've got, I know what I don't want momentum going. Yeah. You can't all of a sudden just say, I know what I don't want, 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 I want that, and shift your vibration. Because even though you're saying I want that, your momentum is still about what you don't want. So you're right when you say it's a gradual thing. So what happens with most people is they say, I know what I don't want, I know what I do want, I know what I don't want, I know what I do want, I know what I don't want, I know what I do want, on every subject in the world, which renders them not very powerful because they never really allow any momentum about what they do want to get going. And so we say, if you would just start with the easy things, not with the things that you've got a lot of momentum going about. Pick some subjects where you don't have much momentum going and focus upon them softly but specifically, and watch the universe yield results to you. It will show you, the universe will show you that it is responding to your vibration. And on these subjects where you are able to fashion a pure vibration, you'll see the results. And then you'll say, well, it worked with that, maybe it will work with this. It worked with that, maybe it will work with this. It's a gradual convincing yourself of your own empowerment process. Humans have muddied the waters so much by standing where they stand, often in a place that they don't really want to be, and then try to explain how they got there, or compare where they stand to where other people are standing. And all that does is just practice vibrations that hold them there longer. And then every now and again, the new ones are coming forth. Babies are being born.
I'll get out of the way.
And they're leaving. Some are leaving. They're coming in. And many are in gatherings like this where they are feeling more of their own empowerment. It's such an exhilarating thing when you find an idea that you haven't trampled to death with disbelief, and you focus upon it softly, and law of attraction responds to your pure vibration, and you make the conscious association. Esther started saying in the early days of her discovery of those things, I did that. And then when something unwanted would come, she would say, I did that too. As she began to take credit, responsibility for whatever was coming. Because only in her realization that she was offering a vibration over which she did have control, and that vibration was what was bringing back to her what was coming back, that she began to understand that she is the creator of her own reality. And many of you are discovering it too. And you're better at it on some subjects than others, but you ought to be good on all subjects, because there is nothing that is outside of these principles. A lot of people that teach act as though it is and it will be. But your actions aren't what's calling the shots. Your actions aren't what law of attraction is responding to. Law of attraction is responding to your vibration. So if you can act it until you feel it, then you've made some headway. But what we're saying, get out ahead of it. Try to find the feeling that inspires the action, not the action that inspires the feeling, because the action has a momentum of its own going.
Right.
And that's why that stuff doesn't work. All it does is make you defensive and try to justify that you've been doing it, but that it isn't working. And so we want you to try to find a feeling and then foster the feeling. Law of attraction will take that feeling and run with it for a little bit, unless you squelch it with a contradictory thought. If you say, I want it, and you don't add the but won't come. You're the one that adds the but. I want it, but. We find it interesting that people will say, I would like more money, but I haven't had any for a while. I would like more money, but the economy is very difficult right now. I would like a better whatever, but you don't usually do that the other way. Well, I haven't been making much money lately, but things could turn around. You hardly ever do that. Haven't been feeling good, but I'm probably all right. Usually your buts work against you, because it's your determination to state the facts of reality. And we don't dispute. There are a lot of facts of your reality that are factual as you speak them. We're just saying continuing to speak them and notice them continues to perpetuate the fact of them. Beliefs are really an interesting thing, because a belief is just a thought I keep thinking. And the likelihood of continuing to think the thought that you've been thinking is a very great likelihood. So you got to sneak in from another way around it and find another way of looking at it. And what we've been teaching for a while is the more general you are in your statement, the less resistant you are in your statement. The more specific you are in your statement, the more resistant you are. So when we speak to you in very general terms, it's general. It's general when we say the law of attraction is the basis of this universe. That's general. Now you can dispute it or not, but it's general. And most people really don't rev up too hard against that, because they don't know what we're talking about anyway.
Right.
And then when we say you're the creator of your own reality, while most people in the initial stages don't believe that, they want to believe that, because everyone wants self-empowerment. Everyone wants self-determination. Everyone wants control of their own experience. So even though they don't believe it, there's a little hook in there where they will begin to listen. You are the creator of your own reality. Then their first defiance of that is, well, I don't believe that I'm the creator of my own reality, because this and this and this has happened to me, and I wouldn't have created these things if I were really the creator of my own reality. And then we say, we didn't say you're creating what you want. We're saying that you are the creator of your own reality. We're saying that you create what you think about, that you're getting what you think about. And that's usually the first place where people start engaging with us. Oh, I'm getting what I'm thinking about. A woman said to us one day, she was very angry with us. She said, Abraham, I believe this stuff, or did, and I've been working on it for a while. And the other day I was driving in San Francisco out on the freeway, and I was pulled over and given a very expensive ticket. And she said, and I was in a good place when it happened. In fact, she said, I was listening to one of your recordings. So how could this thing that I didn't want to happen, we said, what was the ticket for? For not wearing a seatbelt. We said, well, how do you feel about that? Well, I don't think I should ever have to wear a seatbelt. I don't think anybody should tell me what I'm supposed to do or what I'm not supposed to do. Do you usually wear your seatbelt? No, I don't wear my seatbelt. And how do you feel when you don't wear it? I feel vindicated. I feel defiant. I'm not going to wear my seatbelt. Sometimes I pretend like I'm wearing it, but I don't really wear it. So he said, so think about law of attraction as we have explained it to be. Law of attraction is bringing like vibrations together. So here's a police officer, in fact, many of them, out on that very road trolling for revenue, looking for an excuse to extract revenue from you for some infraction of some law that you are undoubtedly going to. In other words, they know for sure that you're out there trying to be free. And that they can catch enough of you to put a lot of money in the bank. And so that's their objective. They're out there feeling the vibe of you. And you're out there shooting rockets out of the roof of your car. I'm free, I'm free. I shouldn't have to buckle up. In other words, it's a perfect vibrational marriage, you see. Nothing less than that would even make any sense at all. Of course they're going to find you. But what bothered her about it was she believed that she was feeling different than she was feeling. And we say, that's because that vibration's right where you last left it. In other words, freedom is only going to come to you when you understand that you get to freely choose the disc, and that law of attraction will freely give you things that match the disc. We will never say to you that you can get on a disc that feels like negative emotion and that good things will come to you. That defies law of attraction. You got to pick the disc, and you got to practice it until you own it. You got to practice it until it's what comes first in your vibrational offering. And when you do, things that match that will be the makeup of what comes to you. And people who are watching you, especially if they've known you before, will wonder what's happening to you. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid? They will want to know. You see. Esther, there are a handful of things that she focuses on and always feels good when she thinks about them. Walking around Bear Lake on a really icy, snowy day. And the sun was shining. It was a bright blue day. But the footage was really, really slippery. And so as Jerry and Esther were walking around the lake, they fell down over and over and over and over again. In other words, your feet just kept going out from under you. And every time you landed in soft but wet snow, and every time they laughed. And so when she thinks about that, it was just pure bliss, just the idea of snow. She can't find anything about that that doesn't feel good when she thinks about it. So that's a really good subject to start on. There's a new video that someone sent to her. A man comes home and he has the camera, and all over the floor of the kitchen is a mess. The garbage can has been completely distributed all over the kitchen and into the living room. And the camera is showing all of this mess. And he's saying, now who did this? Now who did this? There are some possibilities. Was it you? He puts it on a little black dog who looks innocent. Was it you? He puts it on another little dog who is completely innocent. Or was it you? And this dog has the interior of the trash can still around its head. Well, Esther could hardly hold it together as we were telling this story just now. In other words, that may be one of the funniest things that she's ever seen. And so she's replaying that over and over and over in her mind. All day long she's saying, was it you? Was it you? Or was it you? Very funny thing. Now, she can't think about that and not be on that high-flying disc. It's just not possible. So she's used that as her reason to practice that high-flying vibration for dozens and dozens of times since she saw that video. She's explained it to everyone. She forwarded it to different people. In other words, she likes that feeling of something that feels funny like that. Is it the subject of a seminar where infinite intelligence is telling you how to create your own reality? We think it's the perfect subject for that, because anything that holds you in a place where your vibration isn't dipping allows you to give airtime to that higher frequency. Humor takes you there. Love takes you there. Appreciation takes you there. Meditation takes you there. Having a delicious sexual encounter can take you there. Anything that breaks the monotony of the negative momentum is really what you're reaching for.